Unlocking India's credit network, standardized, inclusive, and built on ONDC. Apologies for the delay. We're just waiting a couple of more minutes to begin the session. We're there? Yes. We request our moderator, Mr. Hrushikesh Mehta, and the panelist, Mr. P.V. Sreekanth, Mr. Pradeep Sharma, Mr. Abhijit Singh, to take the positions on stage. Warm welcome. We've set out a brief introduction already. Let's welcome them. And we request Mr. Mehta to lead the conversation. Mic is here. Yeah.
Okay, thanks everyone. Thanks for attending. What I'll try to do today is we'll talk, every year at GFF, we've been basically talking about what we are doing, and we wanted to show every, progress year on year. So can you put up the slide deck, please? So look, ONDC Financial Services started in I think 2023, about March, when basically I landed there. Till then there was just like e-commerce and the mobility stuff that we were doing. In the first year, we released some protocol. Can you just go to the next slide? So, today we're going to talk largely about credit. Whilst we do credit in investments and insurance, today is largely focused on credit and what we've done so far. So in the first year, we just released protocol, right? What it should look like, what the buyer side or the LSP side should do, what the lender side should do. We then spent almost, a year trying to get things going, and in about January 2024, with DMI Finance and LSP called EasyPay, we actually did the first loan. And then maybe 5 or 6 months later, we ran a pilot, did 110,000 applications and only 100 loans, right? So we found many things wrong with the flow. There was a high drop-off in the beginning. And then there were some ecosystem issues with the lenders at that time. So it took another 6 months to restart. And in May of 2025, finally we kind of hit what I would call like a sweet spot, where in 3 or 4 days, about 100 loans went out. And there was Tata Digital, Bajaj, and FIBE who were basically contributing to this. And then since then, it's kind of taken off where, it went from 1 crore to 7 crores to 16 crores to 19 crores to like 25 crores last month. So it's kind of taken off. It's just unsecured loans, both personal loans and business loans. And I mean, to be honest, things have started working, right? It is a very simple architecture with just a registry and protocol. You certify, get on board, and you can get going. What we're also doing is, what we've realized, and this has come from market feedback, we've also started doing secured loans. So gold loans has been launched. We haven't done much on that as yet, but it's beginning to look promising with 3 or 4 lenders coming. Also on the demand side, where the buy side apps are beginning to show up. And we've got other stuff in the pipeline, like loan against mutual funds. We're still developing the protocol, home loans. What's interesting is we've also got a couple of use cases which have to do with alternative data. I'm going to call on Pradeep to talk a little bit about that later. But we've also got a use case with Bizom, which is basically a retailer SaaS product where they have Kirana data and distributor data, and even OEM data of what the transactions are flowing. Those can be used to give like small ticket size loans to like Kiranas or distributors. So we are working on that implementation as well. Can we go to the next slide, please? Now, whilst we've got a bunch of, we're also beginning to see, it's not what I would call a cohesive, like full-on network as yet, because there are pockets of people working with pockets of people, and that's between the demand and supply side apps. But we've also learned a lot of lessons, right? Whilst we have all these players on board, there are a few things we've come to realize is that the protocol only doesn't, like it works, but it works suboptimally. So if we want to make this even better, we're going to have to build some central infra that is in the works. And what does that do for everyone, right? So today, and I'll again request some of the guys who've gone live, like PV from Bajaj, and the challenges they face when they actually go live, right? You've got a whitelist, your counterparty. You've got to make sure they're onboarded as per digital lending guidelines. So our hypothesis is if you build this central infra, you whitelist only one place, we take over the LSP onboarding, have one agreement. So it almost becomes like, I know UPI is a very well-used analogy, but you just have to plug in, sign up with one agreement, and then you should be good to go live with everyone, but for commercials, which obviously are a bilateral discussion. So we are planning to do this. It will come in the future. And the future is not like 2 years from now. We've already written the note. We're just taking our internal approvals. We probably start the build in a month or two. So it's coming. We've seen the network, the original hypothesis, which was actually framed almost in August 2020, come to life. It's taken 5 years to begin working, but I think we're at a place where now we decide what more we can do, because not only do we have all the partners that you see, there are even more in the pipeline, and fairly large names that are going to go live, and one we'll discuss. You actually launch one of them today. Can we just go to the next slide, please? So this is just the numbers that we've seen in the last few months, and this is since May really, because up to May we were dead in the water after the pilot we did last year, and we expect this to keep growing as more participants come in. So if anyone wants to be added, we have a mailing list. I don't know, just write to us at fs@ondc.org, and we're happy to add you. The idea is, part just for you to know, and part is a sales tool that if you see it's growing and you want to participate, we're happy to have you either both on the buy side, or if you're a lender on the sell side. I'm going to try to stop talking soon and then start asking questions to the people who we built for. But just one, can we go to the next slide, please? So look, we've been waxing eloquent for now about 5 years about why these networks are good, right? There's been a lot of debate, and we still hear this from lenders today, from even the LSPs, that, oh, bilateral, acha chalega, the network nahi chalega. And when you speak to the leadership, they buy in, right? Because if you have the same data, the underwriting should be the same wherever the customer comes from, right? The KYC will be the same wherever the customer comes from. It doesn't matter where they come from. So what we are trying, obviously there's a clear revenue impact. We plug you in. Today you get plugged in, you will get 500,000 leads a month, right? I'm not sure you could do that anywhere else currently. Obviously, if they're a large player and can send you 500,000 leads a month anyway, you can do that. But it's an aggregation. What we found is we've been able to, we also play switchboard where we connect the lenders to the buyer apps or buyer apps to the lenders, because sometimes even navigating large companies tends to be a problem. The other is the cost advantage that comes from having to manage only one tech integration versus multiple, and especially if they're custom. I mean, anyone who's integrated with any regulated entity knows the pain of trying to go through a custom integration. So hopefully now that it's standard, you just use one type of integration and go ahead. So what we're hoping, it's not there yet. For example, it's taken us anywhere from 1 month to 1.5 years to onboard a partner. The goal is to get to like a 2-month onboarding time frame, where if you're able to do the central infra, we're able to do the standard agreement, and we're able to do the onboarding on behalf, it should literally be like a month or two of review and you can go live, right? So I'm going to stop there and now, turn to the panelists. And, we have Bajaj, Tata Digital, and a representative from HDFC Bank. So all commanding heights in what they do in the space. So, I'll start with maybe asking a question to PV. Like Bajaj is a huge lender, right? And I think the question is, and they've been very supportive, why did you choose ONDC? I mean, for all practical purposes, you could argue that you didn't even need us.
Okay, some of the questions, straightforward answer is huge business potential. So we are not present in places where we don't see the potential that we can tap. So one is that obviously there's huge business potential. See, we have seen this dramatic shift from a paper-based process, and at least I've been with BFL for the last 15 years, and I've seen how the process has got transitioned and transformed from mere paper-based process, predominant paper-based. Today we are doing digital lending with zero paper. I mean, absolutely zero paper. The other thing is that traditionally we were in a gated community. So we have our app, our web, our branches. In ONDC, I found that it's like getting into a bustling marketplace. Okay, from a gated community, now you're getting entry to a marketplace where there is a level playing field. Now you have all the lenders and you have all the suppliers in one place. So instead of making primary API with each vendor that we were doing, and it was hectic. Not only it was hectic, it was by the regulations that has come in. For us to do all the DLG guidelines, it's impossible. And we saw that opportunity here. And I think that's something that we jumped into. It's slowly progressing. When you're telling that number, I think 70-80% of that number is by us at this point of time. And I don't see we stopping there. It's a double-digit number. In the medium term, we should have it going to a triple-digit CRs is where we are seeing. And purely it's a business proposition that we are seeing, and the future lies there.
Okay, thanks, PV, for that. So now, you've heard from the supply side. Now, I'll ask Pradeep, as the demand side, right? And they were a fairly large marketplace to begin with. And we've seen the first, pop of numbers with Tata Digital. So, I mean, if you could share your experience, both good and bad. Like, we're not here only to praise ourselves, but there are challenges. I mean, it's taken us 5 years to get here. So if you could shed some light and some color on both the good side and the bad side of coming to ONDC.
Yeah, so I think we were one of the first early movers when it came to ONDC. It's not working. Yeah, so we were one of the first early movers when it came to ONDC. And I would just cover how Tata Digital has leveraged ONDC to scale our lending business. We started a couple of quarters back and we integrated with ONDC. What we are trying to do here on Tata Digital is that it's a buyer app, as you mentioned. Anyone can come onto the platform, apply for a loan, and the real financing happens from, players like Bajaj or Five, who are the lenders in the ecosystem, who are the regulated entity. Now, what happened in, in today's world also, we are also having our own marketplace where we have deep integration with 10 to 11 lenders. It was a one-on-one deep dive with each lender, right? It takes about months of technical integration, legal agreements, info security back and forth. So realistically, Rishi, it's about 2 to 3 months to get a lender live, right? From a marketplace perspective. ONDC tried to change that. And since we onboarded, I would say that both the lenders that we are live with, and currently we constitute about 80-85% of our business. The ONDC's business is coming from the buyer side of Tata New. Both the lenders' disbursal volume is incremental, right? Because me and Sreekanth knows each other from past, and we couldn't really integrate because of XYZ priority, et cetera, et cetera. But ONDC brought us together. Wherein the integration is hardly, I would say, we took about 3 weeks maximum, 2 to 3 weeks maximum. Everything is there in place. I think some of the challenges that you mentioned still lies there, that still we have to do bilateral agreements. We have to do, there are feedback loops on technology front, but I think we are largely there. It's already moving needle for us, right? And I think it presents a wider opportunity to small and large fintech players. I would mention 3 to 4 key, benefits that can come. Effectively, it's a plug-and-play solution, right? You just can use your own TSP, or you can have your own tech team, but it's one-time standard integration. You don't really have to do it again and again, right? Second is the speed of go-to-market that it presents for small fintech players who wants to quickly get onboarded and monetize their traffic, right? Can quickly onboard and start doing digital lending via ONDC. The third is partnership building in digital lending. It's a hassle, right? It takes about months to years to build, the sort of partnerships that lies between marketplace and lender. So ONDC is trying to save that effort in terms of, and it can range from months to years, right? And then the fourth is, I think you also mentioned you are expanding beyond personal loan. So business loan is on the horizon, loan against gold is on the horizon. So any large fintech player who wants to monetize their base and wants to just start doing distribution for multiple products at once to masses, ONDC is the answer. Yeah.
Thanks for that, Pradeep. So I think just one lesson we learned, right, was trying to take this live. So before Tata Digital, we had piloted with one other large marketplace, and what they did was an A/B test where they put the ONDC integration in one thumbnail and the regular integration in another thumbnail. So it actually became a negative opportunity cost to try us. We learned from that, and actually, if you do it in the same flow, then it becomes incremental in that if you can't convert with your existing lenders, you might get an offer, and I think that's where it worked. So, in the future, that's what we've taken forward as well. I mean, it's a very simple thing, but it came, at the cost of 6 months of testing experience. Now, coming to Abhijit, now, you're representing HDFC Bank, and I mean, gold standard in private banks in India. I mean, it took us a lot to get to this stage, but I mean, love to hear from you what finally swung your decision to come finally to ONDC.
I think many times, in life, destiny also is very important, and maybe ONDC and us were destined to meet because of this banking as service initiative that the bank was taking. I think we were at it for quite some time, and what we felt, from our unit, it was completely new, and what actually the team really liked about this whole, and I think some of the panelists have already covered it, is the thing about standardization that you're bringing in. Not only in technology, but also in agreements, also in your way of working. So, and we always believe that scale always comes when there is standardization. And the bank, I am also new to the bank, and I could see that, scale is very important for the bank. So that really made it very important for us to be part of it. Of course, it was tough to justify because, numbers are not there, but somehow we managed to take it through. And what we feel is, that as we move forward, there is that other piece of composable banking that we all keep talking about. And it's very easy now, as I see it, and now we are seeing some fruits of all that hard work coming through, that with one integration now, we can get many more partners on the same platform on the other side. We're also seeing that, some places that we are working, we've created open protocols. So it helps us, do similar products from different buyers actually very easily now. We also do point-to-point integrations, but, it takes a hell lot of time to do things. The bigger opportunity, which I think, that, and which pivoted us to do this is you already got a beautiful payments rail, which UPI is already functioning there. And then you have a beautiful, hopefully, it will improve a commerce discovery platform, which is your ONDC. Now, if the two come together and there is a lot of exposure of merchant data, activity data, etc., which comes in, you are now able to plug and play credit in a way that you couldn't do earlier. So it's the factors like these which actually drove us to be on this platform. And hopefully, with all the people in the room and some of them may be representing buyer apps, I think the opportunity is now there. People like Bajaj, ourselves, we are all there. We are big lenders. And Tata Digital is also there as one of the big buyer apps. So there's a huge opportunity, and that's why I wanted to be on this.
Great, thanks for that. So look, to answer the one question, I felt there was a question in there, like when is ONDC going to do the e-commerce data piece, right? So far, we've been an open protocol. We just have a registry and we don't store any data other than what we get aggregated usually the next day. You might see that change, and I say might because I think while like the open protocol philosophy, I mean, is very good, sometimes in operating, it's not as easy to implement. So what we will be doing is looking at making that a reality. Because as you see transaction data, like what do you have in underwriting? You have your repayment history, which the bureau provide you. You have your cash flow information that your bank statements provide. And then, GST kind of is a precursor. It's a forward-looking, what business have you done and you might collect on. But these transactions for people who are not on GST are the proxy, like a proxy income statement almost, right? So fully bought in, and we're actually having that discussion internally. So hopefully we'll bring that to fruition in the next year or so. Now, maybe a question to everyone is what else could you think central infra like this could do for you? Because we've described some of the things we're doing. Is there anything else you think we can add on that would help or solve problems that you face today?
I'll take that. And instead of calling it a central infra, I would say an organization like ONDC, I think we should first redefine what do you mean by a buyer app? Okay, for lending services. And in my perspective, anybody who has customers present is a buyer app for us. Right. So it's not that you need to be technically advanced, you need to be having AI incorporated. I mean, these are all fallacies. Any app or any organization having reasonable API that you can basically plug and play and have sufficient set of customers can become our partner. So, and I'm not sure how many people present over here actually represent that segment. So, and I've been scouting.
I mean, can we have a show of hands? Like how many people, if they had to come, would be a buyer app? Only 2? Come on now.
Yeah, so that, somebody is there from, yeah, there are hands. So I see that question as, one, of course, you are an epic body, and you should transition from being a mere, you lay down the protocol, and now you're watching what's happening. From there, you yourself has told, there is some regulation which should come in, and I think it's more of regulation, more than regulation, it's of how do I enable, as an enabler, right. Okay? And all the DLG, those things, if you can take up, then we'll be busy lending rather than doing all the things that you should do. Okay.
Okay, no, point taken. No, we are happy to take it up. So Pradeep, Abhijit, anything else?
Yeah, so since PV has taken a hit on buyer's app, I'm just kidding. Yeah. So Rishi, I think one request here is, all the digital lenders, right? If you can onboard more public sector banks, right? HDFC is coming on board. That's a great news, right? Apart from HDFC, if we include more and more, public sector bank, that sort of supply is incremental to all the marketplaces, right? Because what we see in today's marketplaces is that all the digital savvy NBFCs and digital savvy banks are present, but would request if that can be taken up.
So the good news is we have Bank of Baroda and Canara Bank in the pipeline, but we don't have a date of when they will go live. But as is our fashion, we tend to be quite dogged in our approach. So the idea is to get, and see, fortunately for us, the CDO of Bank of Baroda is on our board. So she's committed. So I think we will see that happen. Yeah.
We should not worry. Between us.
No, you don't need more lenders. Lending we will do. So what I feel are 2-3 things which ONDC can do is, how can we move from, see, right now you're doing a brilliant job of supplying the infrastructure. But how can you, create a market around it? How can you, create those ways in which buyer apps can come in? And maybe like AWS or, any of those cloud providers do, how can you make a representative buyer app, which can also, because, you're going to have so many people on the platform. Is there one place where these guys can go and take financial? That could be a new business line, frankly, if you pick it up.
So let me respond to that. So, we built, I'm not sure if you're familiar, or most of you, that there was a buyer app build which was like sort of with the philosophy of Bheem called DigiHeart for e-commerce. And we got some blowback for that, in all honesty, because they're like, why are you competing, right? So, one of the hypotheses was to just open source the source code so anyone could just pick it up and build. I mean, I would say we are reluctant to build our own buyer app unless I'm building it to open source it, because you don't want to start competing. Because look, if I put an ONDC brand name app, Sarkar ka hai, you trust that more than anyone else. I mean, I'd be happiest if Tata Digital and 50 others like that succeed without having the reference app, because otherwise you get accused of competing. But this open sourcing an app where someone can get started, so the cost to entry is lower, is maybe something we can do. And I think whilst we come on time, I think we just wanted to make one announcement before we can go to some Q&A. So if you could invite Ashish Panchal onto the stage. Is he here from Bajaj Markets or no? No? Yeah, he was, okay, so, I mean, so should we do the Q&A whilst we're waiting? Yeah, so, I mean, we're almost at time, so can we, maybe, if you guys have some questions, happy to take them. Yeah, we have one already.
Happy morning, Rishi and the panels, who's who of leaders, business leaders who are here. See, Rishi, this is specific to you. First of all, thanks for giving us an opportunity to associate with ONDC. I represent Hyperfin Technology. I think you can immediately take a look. So we are digitizing the DSAs, cooperative societies and banks, tier 2 and tier 3 segments. What opportunity do you see for fintechs like Hyperfin startups to co-create new digital credit products on ONDC?
You tell us. I mean, I'm happy to facilitate conversations with whichever lender. So, see, this has always been open, like a BIZOM type use case. I mean, I didn't ask Pradeep, maybe he can shed some light on the alternative data use case we're planning to do with Tata Digital. Maybe, Pradeep, you can answer what we're doing. But see, there's also data there. So, see, one point is you're a buyer app for credit.
Okay.
So you can do that for all these. You can even actually, not to get into the others, but the investments and insurance and that sort of thing. But co-creating credit products, if you have some data that sits there, which can be used to underwrite.
Okay.
I'm happy to facilitate that with the people on the stage. Pradeep, you want to talk about the alternative data?
Yeah. So I think before giving out a loan, so there are three most important things that that a lender considers. One is know your customer. Second is his ability to pay, and third is his intent to pay, right? And as we are saying, right, what alternate data is, it's essentially nothing but the digital footprint that a customer leaves, right? When lenders like Bajaj and Five, right, whom we work with, combine or pair this alternate data, right, with the bureau and bank statement based data, right, that's where the magic happens, right? They're able to approve more customers, they're able to give more lines, they are able to cater to segment which they otherwise could have missed, right? So these are the real business opportunities. At Tata Digital, we do all of this in-house, right? All of this data, which is categorized into 4 buckets. One is, customer demographics, customers' credit history, customers' engagement with the app, right? The fintech apps, and his digital and device footprint. All of this data we process in-house and create indicators, right? Either risk indicators, either income estimators, either affluence indicators. So I think you can help build, co-create something with these fintech apps, right? Although we do it in our in-house, but I'm sure there are many more opportunities that you can figure out with buyer apps to do what I just mentioned. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Any other questions? Well, obviously, yeah, I thought we didn't do a good job, yeah. So that's it. So everyone's going to show up and participate, I guess. No one has any questions. So do we have Ashish? Yes, he said he's coming in. Okay. So we're just waiting on him. So we have an announcement. So once we have Ashish on stage, maybe Abhijit and Ashish can take over. Yeah. Yeah, hi. Yeah, come. So, I mean, I'll let Ashish and Abhijit do this, but we are really proud to welcome HDFC Bank and Bajaj Markets who are going to go live. So just invite both of them to say a few words. We worked very hard to make this happen, so congratulations.
Thank you. Happy to be here, representing the Bajaj Finserv group. And I'll keep it short, but cannot help commenting that 3 visions here are aligned. At the top is Government of India's vision to create a system which is inclusive and which leads growth through innovation. And I find that ONDC's vision to create an open digital e-commerce ecosystem is very much aligned to the same. And then we were one of the earliest adopters of ONDC because our vision to create a customer-centric marketplace based on choice and convenience is aligned to both of these. So we were happy to be one of the earliest adopters on ONDC. On the buyer side, today we have live 4 categories, namely e-commerce through electronics and mobile phone offerings, food and beverages, groceries, and financial services. As a marketplace, we have 100+ partners offering 40+ products to 235 million+ web visitors and about 1.2 million+ active mobile app users. And all of them are now getting access to these and more offerings that ONDC keeps bringing onto the network. This is a ride of exponential growth that India is witnessing. We are happy to partner and do a small bit into it. Our best wishes are with ONDC. We love working with them. And as I said, our visions are aligned. Extremely happy that a large bank like HDFC is now participating in the network. I'm sure over a period of time, almost all the big players will come in. Early adopters get to offer a lot unique to their customers. So my best wishes to HDFC Bank here as well. Extremely happy once again to be a part of the network and happy to be here at the event. Thank you.
No, we are very happy, to go live on ONDC, and with a partner like Bajaj Markets, I think, we have done a good partnership, and let's see, what's the kind of business volumes, etc., that we can drive. I think choosing a partner like Bajaj also helps us access to different kind of categories, different markets, different segment of customers. And we are also, very keen, and, when we met Rishi first and Mr. Koshi first, we had promised that, we'll go live in this year on ONDC, and we have fulfilled that promise. So hopefully to more business and to more new use cases that we can do on ONDC. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. So I think that brings us to a close. So unless there are any more questions, I think we're good for time as well. Yeah. It's okay now. It's just about this. Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Panchal. Thank you.
Before you leave, you can just take a picture.
Okay.
Come in.